Hello, my friends. My name is Haley Hobson, and I want to talk to you today about Instagram stories. And I find that one of the biggest obstacles that people have in network marketing is, well, it's marketing. What's the difference between your Instagram brand or your Instagram posts and your Instagram stories? Well, your Instagram feed are the posts, the photos, the images that you're posting on a daily basis. And what I like to do is I like to stay super within brand. I've got a certain color that I like to use. I have a certain feeling, a certain type of lifestyle I like to portray. But with my Instagram stories, those are the things that I call like the insider sneak peek, like the people who really want to get to know you better. They want to hear from you more, but you can't blast their feed with stories. You've really got to create this like inner circle place where they can click and watch your day to day. And people want to see your day to day. I mean, think about it. We love reality TV, don't we? We want to see what people are doing. We want to follow what other people who we like, who we admire, who are successful are doing. We want to see the inside sneak peek into their life. Now, sadly, there aren't enough entrepreneurs out there who are actually using Instagram stories. And you don't believe that people really care about what's going on in the day-to-day of your life. You don't believe that there's significance. But I've got news for you. There is. People really do care. People really do want to follow. People do want to see where you're traveling, what you're eating, who you're hanging out with, what cities you're visiting, what products you love. People do want to see that. So before I get out there and I teach you the 7 secrets to Instagram stories, what I want you to do is put on your thinking cap. I want you to get down and dirty, and I want you to change that mindset. And I want you to believe that you do have something to say. You do have something significant. You do have something to share, and people do want to know. Your new thought is, if I might, I have the solution for you. Okay, so that's the new story you are going to tell by digging in and filling your feed with your stories. So now, as I promised, I am going to fill you up with 7 simple tricks that are going to help you build your brand with Insta Stories. Now, if you've done your homework, you'll understand what makes your client tick. And here's a fun fact. 59% of Instagram users fall within the range of 18 to 29 years old, and only 18% are ages 50 to 64. Now, why is that important? It really is only important so that you know who your audience is and you know how to talk to your audience. So with a younger demographic, it might not necessarily be what you're saying, but it's actually the way that you're saying it. So here's the thing about the younger audience. You guys have got to unbutton your collars, unbutton your shirts, and you've got to let loose a little bit. They want to see the real you. They want you to be authentic. You don't have to be perfect. In fact, you shouldn't. And I'm not sitting here saying that you shouldn't use all the cool like little filters that Instagram has. Like when I shoot a landscape or a photo of something, I'm always throwing a cute little filter on it to make the film or the image look better. But the thing about stories is they're real time. They're happening right now, and people want to see that authenticity. If you are appearing too perfect, if you are appearing too stiff, then you are going to feel untouchable to them, and you're not going to feel authentic. So you may not be Kim Kardashian. You may not be camera ready all the time. I'm not saying you have to be perfect, but it is important for the audience to relate to your story. And so you do want to play around with the lighting and with the audio. I'm always digging into my teammates and saying like, I can't believe you put that picture up on Facebook. And not that it's making them or me look bad, but people like to look at pretty pictures, okay? And just even a little hint of lighting or a little filter is gonna make your picture, your image, your story, your video just be prettier so that people will stop and won't scroll right over it. Now, story delivery. I get it. You have numbers to meet and your business is your bread and butter, but are you selling too hard? Social media is 80% storytelling and 20% selling. I'm going to say that again. I know that you might have numbers to meet. I get it. I'm in the same business as you. But you gotta remember that social media is 80% story relating, 80% storytelling, 20% selling. That means that our job is to build the brand that people want to look at. Our job is to relate. Our job is to storytell, and the best storytellers honestly win. It's those that are feeling, or that you feel like you can relate to, that you can communicate to, that you know, those are the people that you want to do business with. So what are you going to do on your stories? You're literally going to storytell. So here's the thing, you guys. People are forgetting about that old saying that people love to do business with those they know, like, and trust. That's a fact. So the more you storytell, the more you can relate to your audience, the more you can put yourself in their shoes, the more you can stand shoulder to shoulder with them, the more you can show them that you have been there, you have done it, or that you're doing it right now, the more of that relationship you're going to meet so that they want to do business with you. That's what it's about. Instagram stories is storytelling. Remember that Instagram stories are your way to be along the journey. I should actually say Instagram stories are the way for your audience to be along your journey with you. You are literally building your own character development. And here's the thing, people want to join a hero's story. So what kind of story are you going to tell? Here are some easy rockstar ways to integrate Instagram stories into your business. Show your life in action. One of the things that I love to do is literally tell a day-by-day journey of where I am. If I go out of town, I'm Instagram storying where I am. I might be showing what I'm eating. I might be showing where I'm shopping. I might be showing where I'm hanging out with. I might be showing the airport on my way there and then the signs in the town of where I've arrived. On the way back, I might be showing the view out my window, my daughter and my husband. Now I'm back in town with, I'm literally, it's my Instagram stories are a day in the life of Haley Hobson. Number 2, use pictures, use videos. That's what you want to do in your story. Like, click that camera button and show a highlight of where you are. Take an image, put a filter on it, and throw it into your stories. The nice thing about stories is you can do them back to back to back to back to back. So you might have 5 or 6 images that you can pop up like that in a story that only takes somebody 10 seconds to scroll through. People don't have a long attention span. In fact, I've heard that you can't get somebody's attention for more than 40 seconds. So, are you still listening to my video? In the number 2, you want to upload a still picture, and you also want to overlay it with some type of inspirational message. You want to overlay it with some type of hashtag. You want to overlay it with some type of location of where you are. Don't forget to inspire, my friends. Who doesn't love a great recipe, a great quote of the day, a great inspirational message to highlight and light up their day? As I mentioned before, use tags and links. First of all, the people that you're tagging and linking to love to be shared on Instagram, and guess what? They'll hit you back. Number 2, people love to see where you are. So every opportunity you get, everywhere you go, try to tell people exactly where you are. The thing that I can't stand most is when I'm scrolling through somebody's Instagram feed and they take a picture and they're like, "Nuff said." And I have no idea what the picture means. It's a great shot, but tell me the story. I want to know more. So hashtags, love it. And then make sure you're letting people know where you are. Make sure that you are building community development. The more you relate to your community, the more they're going to follow you. And again, the more that you tag people, the more your posts, your feeds, your stories are going to be seen in other people's feeds as well. Commemorate. Don't forget about holidays, about significant events, about things that people are following. Let people know that you're there and you're listening and you are recognizing. And last but not least, what about highlighting somebody on your team, a rank advancement, a recognition, a local influencer, an influencer that's not local? Bring people into your stories as well. Now, I haven't talked about product yet. And some of you are probably wondering, well, what about my product, Haley? You know, I am a big, firm, avid believer that, again, we are not here to sell. We are here to tell a story. So I highlight my products as part of my story. I consider myself a life coach. I consider myself a health coach. I consider myself an entrepreneur living the lifestyle that I am dreaming. And what I try to do in my stories is highlight all of the things that are part of that journey. So instead of trying to sell something on my Instagram stories or my Instagram feed, what I am doing is I'm just showing how the product becomes part of that lifestyle. And people don't like to be sold to. As much as they love to buy, believe it or not, they don't like to be sold to. They just like to see a day in the life of people that they are following. They want to relate. They want to see that you're relatable. They want to know what you are doing. You are significant. And they want to be you. They want to be you if you can solve their problem. So your job in your Instagram stories is to be relatable. It's to tell your journey. It's to connect with your audience. It's to build your brand. And most importantly, be consistent. Don't start a story and then ignore it for a month. Be consistent. Do you have to do stories every day? Not necessarily. Some days I'll do 3 or 4 stories and then I might skip a day or 2, but people can rely on the fact that they're going to see my stories on a weekly basis and they're going to be able to follow my journey, and that is what people are looking for. So, are you excited? For me, it was a little challenging to get used to being online so much. I would go about my whole day forgetting to post one single thing, but when you remember that everywhere you go is a story, everything that you do is a story, you can get out there, you can be consistent, and all of a sudden, people are living your day in the life of too. So good luck, my friends, and have fun with your stories.
Haley Hobson, my friend, thank you for your contribution to our event today. That background looked awesome, all rustic. The lighting was perfect. Clearly, you're a great example of what's going on. I think all of us, I know my Instagram story game is incredibly weak. My Facebook story game is way weaker. I want to improve that as we're moving forward, so I'm taking a lot of notes as we do this. We're going to keep moving because we have a lot of great content and a limited amount of time. So we have a husband and wife duo. They're going to come and present separately and provide different types of content for you. The first, please welcome Ms. Debbie Beebe.
I feel like there should be music. We should dance, right? Or an audience. That would be great. Hi, everybody. Oh, I just want to recap a little bit. I want to talk about connection. I want to talk about duplication. I want to talk about systems. However, that's been talked about all day. And I think that that is all of our clue, right? That we all do basically the same thing. So let's take it back to basics. And if you had an aha moment, I really highly suggest that you take those aha moments, you star them, and you reread them maybe tomorrow, maybe tonight, and then teach them. Because in that, that's how you really learn. You know, everybody has a system in play, and I loved about the groups. We have a group, and when you have a group and you have a system in play, then that duplicates. And anything in your network marketing business that duplicates is a beautiful thing, because personalities don't duplicate, but systems do. So we always want to take it back to the basics, make sure we have a system, not reinvent the wheel. I heard that several times today. I was one that tried to reinvent the wheel for 6 months and got nowhere. So whatever your team has or your company has in play, use those systems because they duplicate. And that will make it a lot easier in your network marketing business. But what I really want to talk about, I want to talk about connecting and how we can connect with one another. And you know, we all have different ways, like there's Zoom, there's Facebook Live, there's You can go on Messenger and you can go video chat in Messenger. You can go FaceTime on your phone. There's so many different ways that you can connect, and I always suggest, instead of texting somebody, to do it in your voice, or do a FaceTime, or Marco Polo. Are you guys using Marco Polo? That's a great system. You can train your teams. You can reach so many people through that. But when people see your face or hear your voice, there's no misconception of who you are or what you're trying to show them or what you have to offer. If you text all the time and you keep it in message in a text form, remember that people are reading it in the mood they're in. So it's always best if you are texting somebody or you're Facebook messaging them, it's always best if you could maybe do it in your voice or get it offline right away, because you never know what kind of mood they're in as they're reading it. Now that's going to lead me into my next thing that I want to talk to you guys about, and that's scripts. We all use scripts. Maybe your company has scripts. I know GoPro, Eric Worre is brilliant. There's scripts in the GoPro book. Your team might have a script. And a lot of people I've heard in the past, they'll say to me, I don't want to use a script because then I'll sound fake. That's not what the script is for. The script is to help you feel comfortable. You can make it your own, but the scripts are right there because maybe you're a person that doesn't like to talk to people. Maybe you're an introvert, maybe you're shy. You know, one of my good friends was scared to death to talk to people, but having that script in front of her really helped. So there again, as she's learning network marketing, she's got a script in front of her, and while she's scared to death, if she gets a little derailed, she can just look down at her script, whether she's Facebook messaging or if she's on the phone, she's got that script in front of her to get her to the point. So if there's an objection, which I'm sure none of us get objections ever, yes we do. But if there's anything like that going on, she's got a script in front of her. I'll have a script in front of me. It's basic. I have one actually up on my computer screen while I'm talking to people, just in case there's something going sideways. Something could go sideways. So I have that script in front of me that I can go back to and really see what's going on maybe in my mind, because maybe I got a little flustered, like right now. And how beautiful is that? Because I can get on camera and I can be really messy. I can get on the phone and be really messy. But if I have that script in front of me, that helps me a lot. And I don't have it, but I do have my notes. And I love that. Todd Falcone, thank you very much, because I heard him speak about 4 years ago, and he said you can always have your notes in front of you. So I always have my notes in front of me, and then I feel secure. I don't always use them, but I always have them. So let's see, what else did I want to talk to you about? I had something else to talk to you about. All right. Okay, so let's go back to those scripts. Those scripts can help you build your posture too. So maybe you're brand new in network marketing and you really don't know what to say. That's another reason I use scripts. It helps build that posture. The more I read through them, the more they're in front of me. I use scripts. That's what I do. And then Jeff and I both, when we build on social media and we are reaching out to different people, we have scripts that we'll use on Facebook Message. We have scripts that we'll use on LinkedIn. We'll have scripts that I use on text just to create some curiosity. I want to give you a little bit of an idea, but I want you to kind of go back to your team, to your leader, to your company, because they probably have some scripts in play. But I kind of want to just give you an idea. If I text somebody or voice text somebody, I might say, hey, I have something really exciting I want to talk to you about, and I have a question for you. Do you have 5 minutes that you could talk? And if they say, no, not right now, I don't, I can say, great, when is that 5 minutes that you have that we can really connect? And then they're going to answer me. So that's kind of a script that I use. If I really want to get somebody on the phone right away, I'm going to shorten it and I'm going to say, hey, I have a question for you. That's it. I leave it right there. And then when they do call or they text me back, then I have that question of, you know what, I just really wanted to talk to you about something that I found, or I had a product that I really love, or I had a transformation that happened to me, or I'm feeling really great. And I just wanted to know, are you open to listening to this? Because it's really exciting, like something like that. And you know what? If your team doesn't have a script, or your company doesn't have a script, not only could you Google search, right guys? We can all Google search a script, but you can make up your own, and you can refine it and then have it in front of you. And then another one that I really love to use is I'll text or I'll call and say, hey, the reason I'm calling you is you are one of the most influential people that I know, and I really want to pick your brain about something. So there's just so many different ways, but you always want to be genuine. When a lot of people go on Facebook Message and they might be going into their cold market, they might not really know this person, but they see this person on Facebook that they want to attract into their team. If I see that person, I'm going to go through their profile and I'm going to see if there's something about them that's attractive to me. So like maybe they went on vacation somewhere, or maybe they have a great pair of shoes or a new bag or something, and I'm going to message them. I'm not going to put it on their Facebook profile. I'm going to message them, and I'm going to say, hey, Karen, I saw that you were just in Tahiti. I've never been to Tahiti. Could you give me a few ideas of what I should know about that? Would you mind? And I'm going to start that dialogue, because I like to connect with people. So you want to kind of get creative. So we went from scripts into connecting with your cold market. And then you can use your script. You can come back to your scripts on that. But you really want to genuinely connect with somebody and pique their interest, but don't be fake, right? So that's all I've got for everybody. I'm done, Mr. Eric Worre. I just like to go really fast.
Awesome.
Give a few little tips. Thank you very much.
Let's bring your hubby. He's busy. Did you get wired up, or you handheld?
Is
Look
it
at this
on
guy.
here? What's
No,
up, guys?
First of all, if you become who you hang around, I just want to put myself right at the hip, because show them your abs. Come on, show them the abs. Show them the abs. So if you become who you hang around, I'm just hoping my abs become those abs.
This is why I hang around with this guy, because who you're around is who you're going to be. And I always tell people, look at the 5 people in your phone you're texting. That's the influence in your life. So thank you for being a big influence in my life.
Oh, it's my pleasure. This guy is him and his wife have built a huge business, but the reason why I asked him to come and share with you specifically today is he has sponsored more than 100 people using LinkedIn. And I would like him to share with you the LinkedIn strategies that he's used to recruit professionals. Okay? So make sure you're talking close to that,
here,
and take it from there.
Okay, guys, thank you. I'm Jeff Beebe, and I'm just happy to be here. And you've heard all these tips from everybody in here. And I just want to say that it's all about connecting and being who you are and coming from the heart and realizing we have something to give. More you can give, more you're going to receive. And the biggest thing is, really whatever product you are, we're with health and wellness. You need to have a test to have a testimony. So really become a product of your product, and then you're going to be bold at whatever you do. So the boldness, because people are reaching out to you because you have something they need. And they don't know what to do, so they're wanting your advice. So, Facebook, LinkedIn, the platforms are basically the same. Now, those are the 2 platforms we build on, Facebook and LinkedIn. And once I realized that LinkedIn is sort of the same deal, so don't be scared of it, because it's the same thing. You're messaging, you're congratulating people. And the beautiful part of LinkedIn, it's unlimited. Facebook has 5,000 friends, which, going back to Facebook, you're not at 5,000, because now you can go into groups. So there's always ways to connect with more. But LinkedIn is just open. You can, I have 10,000 something friends on LinkedIn. And you can just keep connecting and keep connecting. But the thing is, people want to be recognized. People want to be acknowledged. And this is how we create our funnel, fill the funnel. Every day, we fill the funnel. I'll fill the funnel for 2 days, and then I'll reap whatever comes in, appointments, and appointments. And how we do that, basically, when you're on LinkedIn, you can go to notifications, and this is a big thing. You go to notifications, and it tells you all the job congratulations, where they got rank advancements in their jobs. It tells their birthdays. People love to be congratulated about things. People love to say, hey, happy birthday, telling somebody happy birthday. When you private message somebody, now this is a difference. If you write something on their profile and a comment, you write something, everything's going to come back as a group. Hey, thanks everybody for my birthday wishes. We do this both ways. I'll comment, same as Facebook. I'll comment on their post. I'll go over every day and I'll go to notifications and I'll comment on all their jobs. Saying congratulations. I'll go to their birthdays. And remember, you might have 20, 30 birthdays. If you have a short little script that's from the heart and you just bing, 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 you can get through it quick every day. And so what happens, you wait a day, and remember, it's their birthday. So they're busy that day. So you let it sit there. And the next day, they're going to say thank you. Either they're going to say thank you that day or the next day, especially when it comes to private message, because now it's a personal connection. So now there's your opportunity. You just say you're so welcome. If there's anything Debbie and I can ever do with you, go check us out or whatever. Come from your heart. If you see it's a person that has a big influence through social media, I might say, you're so welcome. I see you have a big influence through social media. I'd love to talk with you sometime. I know you'd be great on my team or whatever it is. But you look at who you're talking with and you come from your heart. And both of us always come from, say what you want. If I want someone on my team that has a big influence through social media, I'm going to say it, but I'm going to say it out of love. And they always come back, and it creates that conversation. And I always I always drive people to Facebook because that's our initial group. That's where our pages are. We have a prospecting page, 50,000, 100,000 people in this prospecting page. Then we have another team page. So you want to drive people back. On LinkedIn, what we do when someone's asking about our program or because they'll check us out and see what it's about. I always post every day. These are things. If you want people to reach out to you because you makeup, you're into health, you want weight loss or fitness or whatever, you want them to see what you're about. And if you're just posting walking your dog all day long and doing other stuff or vacations and you're not posting something to do with nutrition, we're with nutrition, so something to do with nutrition, they're not going to know to reach out to you about that. So we post that, and then we post our daily life in between that. And so there's content in between our before and after photos. I always ask again what I want. If I see somebody after birthdays too, I'll say, are you open to learning more about what I do? I know you'll love our systems. I know you'll love our business, blah, blah, blah. So that's sort of on LinkedIn, and really go in. If you find someone that has a big influence, endorse them. People will always, when you go to endorse somebody, all you got to do is click on their page. You scroll through daily and you see what they're about. And you see somebody that you would want in your family, want on your team, and want to invite in your house. Those are the people we want on our team as doing business. And you go and endorse them. Endorse them, they're a realtor or whatever there is, you endorse them. They're going to come back and say thank you. They're going to come back and endorse you. So those are little tips on creating it. Now, the bottom line in here, you've heard all these testimonies, everything's serving others, everything's connecting. But the bottom line, guys, is geometric progression on numbers. We got everything we've learned here, we got to put into action. So daily methods of operation, income producing activities are what's going to get you paid. So, one person went over their daily methods. We set a timer like that. If you treat it like a job, it's going to pay you like a job. And that's what, when I went to an event and I saw all these people making the money they are making, and I just followed. We followed Eric, and we see the daily methods of what was happening. You realize, okay, this is what I got to do. I got to treat it like a job. So we get up, we set our timer. I set my timer. First thing I do, I get up, set my timer. I go comment for 10, 15 minutes on people that aren't in our business, people that I want to prospect, people that I know I can serve, people that I see that are on a bad path going downhill because of their health or they're financially not doing good. Those are the people I want to serve. So I'll go comment on 10 different people. Then from the comments, it'll be either a congratulations comment or a question comment. But then if you go message that person, that's why that birthday thing is real important. People really like to be recognized for their birthdays. When you go comment one and then you go private message them, the algorithm of Facebook is going to go, they really have a connection. And sometimes when you go when you go message them, you really want to make it a question. Some sort of question, something simple. Have we ever met before? I see you went to Tahiti, or I see you were at an event, or whatever it is. Have we ever met before? It's a question. They're going to engage back. Now, Facebook is going to really know, or LinkedIn is going to really know that you guys are connected. Now, everything that I do is going to show up in their news feed. So you really need to be intentional about what you're doing to create the leads. And that's called filling the funnel. So we fill the funnel every morning for about an hour, and basically our methods: get up, comment, 10 minutes, comment, ask questions in the comments, go over to their messenger, wish everybody happy birthday, congratulate everybody. Then you can go in the groups and do the same thing. But then you just wait for the afternoon. In the evening, you're coming back, now you're answering all they're telling you thank you and stuff like that. So these are ways to create the leads, to start asking and telling them what you do for a living and showing them you have a solution if they're open to learning more. Because if you don't finish, it's easy to start things, guys, but if you don't finish what you started, you're not going to create an income-producing activity. So you got to be bold about asking people what you want, showing them you have a solution for them. And then after you get someone enrolled, when somebody asks us about, hey, well, tell me more about your product, we always set the appointment. I say, perfect, you're going to love it. What's a good time and day you can talk? One question at a time. People can't answer more than one question at a time. You ask multiple questions, they're going to answer one of them, not the one you want. So ask one question. I'm excited for you. What's a good time of day you can talk? When they come back and answer you, that's when you say, now we have groups. We have a prospecting group, we have a team group, we have a wealth group. So right when they answer you a time, you say, perfect, I'm going to put you in a group, tag you in a couple of videos to watch in the systems I recommend. I'm going to be calling you because they've already said the time, and you set the appointment. So those are things. And then going back to now, once the enrollment happens, so you put them in our group. Now, going back to the group, our prospecting group is basically a drip system. Say the person doesn't answer. They're in the group. I'll tag them back and say, hey, just let me know you're okay. Maybe we can reschedule this if you want. So, but that group, once they're in the group, and you've heard from other leaders up here, they're seeing all these before and after. They're seeing recognition on weight loss and all this different things. Every person we put in our group, they're enrolled. They come back, they message us, hey, I'm ready. It might take a week, it might take a day, it might take a year. They all come back that we put them in the group. And then here's where duplication happens. We build two legs. Here's where duplication happens. You ask people, hey, who are your accountability partners? Who are the accountabilities? Is your wife, your sister? Your success on weight loss is going to go through the roof. Our product works, but your success is going to go through the roof if you have two accountability partners. Who's going to do this with you? Who's your girlfriend? So if you bring people in pairs, they're going to get paid immediately. Then you show them how they can get paid. If you get someone paid, they're going to be happy. They're going to be a product user forever. So those are the methods that we use from LinkedIn and Facebook. They're basically the same profile. don't overthink it. We've had zilch network marketing experience. No one taught me how to do Facebook and LinkedIn. I mean, I take that back. Someone's showed me, but 1, 2, 3, jump. Nothing's going to happen. Just be yourself and be real, but come from a serving heart and be a product of your product so you have bold confidence and you show people what they need to be successful in the product, and be bold about telling people how to get their products paid for. Because once you can get a person's products paid for, they're with you forever. You heard other leaders up here. And be bold about telling people there is a business opportunity. You're going to love this. You can see by what it's done for me physically and financially. You would love doing what I do, and I'd love to have you part of the team. And show them how easy it is to get paid. Don't overwhelm them with these big numbers that we have. You know, that if you're successful in this, see what their goals are. See if it's a car, a house payment, or whatever is going to help them, or financial freedom because they want to raise their kids or something like that. But the main thing is on social media and the 2 groups that we promote on, it's all about just the connecting. And my biggest thing I can tell you is really congratulate people. That birthday thing on your notifications, you have the notifications on your far right side. Tap on that thing. You'll see exactly what I'm talking about on LinkedIn. And if you can, just congratulate people on their success or wherever they're at. That's going to start the conversation. And just run with it, guys. This is the best industry there ever is. I'm 57 years old, and for this to come into our life at this time and to think, where in the world can you create a residual income for yourself that allow you time freedom in life and enjoy life by serving others? So that's what I got. Thank you.
Well done, brother.
Thank you. Love you, bro.
Love you too, man. All right, good value, right? We have 2 more presenters that are going to come out together, and they're going to share some ideas. They've come all the way from Spain, and they're going to be sharing. And then after that, we're going to take a quick break, and then we're going to bring everybody back, and we're going to do the last 45 minutes or so of all the do's and don'ts of social media for network marketing. All the do's and don'ts for social media. Are we good? Do they need the board? All right, go ahead and bring the board out before I bring them out. Do they need this? Cool. All right, so please welcome Danny and Liz Clark. Yay! You're doing good. Crush it.
Thanks,
Good,
Eric.
good.
We need to swap sides.
Okay.
So just because this is my best side and that's the wife's best side as well. So
It's not, actually.
okay, that's okay, as long as I'm okay. Cool, guys. So we just want to say thank you to Eric, obviously, for organising the event. We're grateful to be asked for the opportunity to help you guys. So my name is Dan. Obviously, it's my wife, Liz. We work together. We are generic network marketing coaches. And we wanted to come to you guys because we're coming towards the end of this and we want to make sure that you guys have a takeaway for something different. So for the next 15, 20 minutes, we're just going to show you how to crush Instagram. And we know there's some amazing things on Facebook. We love Facebook. We're huge fans on Facebook, but OMG, Instagram, #amazeball. So Liz, should I just tell people about what we're going to train on?
Absolutely. So I'm really going to give you some step-by-step key instructions. So if you're really wanting to boost your engagement rates on Instagram, then you really want to be thinking of it as a platform, as your platform to create that much needed connection to get them through to your Facebook group or your website, right? So first of all, we spoke about bios. Now, this applies to Facebook, but it also applies to your Instagram. So you just have 150 words there, right? So it needs to tell a really, really short, compelling message.
Yeah, you cannot waste those.
You can't. It's precious, right? So things that you want to be considering are, who is your target market? What value are you bringing to the table, right? Because what I see wrong in so many bios all the time is it's about me. Like you want to add some humor to the bio, but you also want to be thinking about how you can help your audience.
So you want to position yourself as the expert in your field, because nobody wants somebody that's just winging it, right? So you want to be considering things like, including, like I said, what you do for a profession, and also how would you describe your business? Because they might just belong in your bio.
Yep,
now, something that is really, really relevant right now is hashtags. And the use of your own branded hashtag in your bio is essential. So some people are like, well, why? What difference does this make? Now, a branded hashtag is like a filing cabinet, right? So it's a filing cabinet to all of your information.
With just this mad, huge red flashing light on to help people find you, right?
Yeah. So for example, our hashtag is the free life, or hashtag the VIP life, right? And the thing that's happening here is our users are then using those hashtags, right? So we're encouraging them to use those hashtags. And what's happening is then we have a file created of testimonials and user-generated content, which is essential when you're growing your brand. You want to show social proof, right?
Absolutely.
You want to show people are loving your products. And there's no better way to do it than a branded hashtag. But you also can't forget about your CTA, your call to action.
And in your bios, if you'd like some advice on like a very simple way to word this, because we know sometimes people struggle. It's like, well, do I mention my company? Am I a network marketer? Like, what's the thing? Here's a very simple thing that's probably going to help you out here. So we just use the example of, let me just bring those notes back on. So we just use the example of, I help XYZ to do XYZ in XYZ time. So I help stay-at-home moms to lose weight in 30 days, or I help stay-at-home moms to lose 10 pounds in 10 days. That sort of thing. So it's very specific. We've heard this a lot today, talking about target market, being specific, and this is just going to explain to people. Like, they come to your profile, they're not thinking, oh, help some women lose some weight. Like, very specific. Wow, 10 pounds, 10 days. I want to lose 10 pounds in 10 days. I'm going to check this profile out even further.
I'm actually going to show you our bio as well, if we can
need to
link
plug it into there.
To this, just so you've kind of got an example of a bio that works. So I took a screenshot on the phone. Okay, so this is the bio for me. So I'm a TV.
Can that be seen on the screen? Is that cool? Cool.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys.
Okay, so I'm a TV presenter, Instagram expert, traveling the world, helping entrepreneurs grow their business online, follow their passion, and turn their ideas into a reality. So you're positioning yourself as an authority, and you've also given that call to action. Now, the pointing down hand emoji is really, really effective because you only have such a short space, right? So that works really well on leading people to the next step. Oh, I can stand back, sorry.
Step back.
Okay, cool.
We've got it. We've done this before. We're professionals. Don't worry, guys. We've got this. We have got this.
This is another example as well. Don't be afraid to use emojis in your bio. Don't overuse them, but do use them. Add that bit of color, add that bit of humor, add that bit of spice in there.
And interrupt. Just make, like, you want it to be a thumb stopper. Like, so someone sees your profile and they're just like, okay, what is this? I have to check this out. I have to see what your information is.
I must follow them now. Which actually leads us on to themes.
Oh, I love themes.
And this is my favorite.
Oh, it's my favorite too.
Oh, me too.
Oh, that's amazing.
Love it. Okay, so themes. Now, like we were saying earlier, and like we had the great training about all the video and stuff like that, it's really important to include video, okay? So when you're using your grid, so your main feed, you can actually only put a 60-second clip on there, but you can actually upload it into your stories feature and download an app called Clip Story, and what that will do is it will actually cut it up into 15-second segments, and it will play throughout. So I'm going to talk about stories in a little bit later, but it works really, really well. But on to themes, and I'm actually just going to show you. Oh, nearly showed you the wrong thing then. So this is an example.
Don't show the nudes from last night. Don't do that.
We don't.
Don't do that.
Right. Anyway, so this is an example of a theme and a grid. So this is what a grid layout looks like. Now, you really want to be thinking about your grid and your overall layout to have a really cohesive design, okay? So we've got examples here. We've got color schemes. Mm-hmm. We've got people using white branding. And it's just kind of like, this is a really neat one. I love this.
And what apps do you use to help you create those themes?
Well, you can use so many different apps out there. So you can actually buy stuff. I think there's something called Creative Hub. Don't quote me on that because I can't remember it off the top of my head.
Okay, we won't write that.
But I use a lot of stuff on Canva. So for example, this one's another one. I'm just going to get to ours. Okay, so this is called a grid. This is called a checkered theme. And the reason why checkered themes work really, really well is because you're disturbing the pattern, and also people know what they're going to get from you. So they know it doesn't just have to be some like generic quote, right? It can be some like bit of information, it can be some sort of value post.
And this is awesome because, like, for example, we're using a lot of the quotes here, like Liz is saying.
Yeah.
Like, it could be a testimonial from a client. Like, if you're selling products or you're getting weight loss results, you know, it's an amazing way to bring in those testimonials, bring in the social proof.
That's
you know, it might even be like you have a before photo, you have a testimonial, you have an after photo. Like, it's just great because, like, visual is important, but also people do love to read as well. And yeah, it's an amazing tool.
So we'll lead on to that a little bit later as well. So just make sure that you have some sort of visual strategy. Get rid of pixelated photos. Get rid of the blurry photos.
We do not want pixelated
photos. If you're attached
photos
to that picture of you and your kid, but you have 5,000 of them, get rid of them, right? You need to tell that beautiful story, and people like a visually appealing grid, right? So just get rid of all those images that aren't doing anything.
I have a
for
question,
you.
and I'm putting you on the spot here because we didn't prepare this. But a lot of people, they say, right, I've got a terrible looking Instagram, then I'm going to go into a theme. Should I delete all of my old content?
I think it's kind of okay to tell the story.
I think it's great.
So I think it's okay to tell
growth.
the progression.
Yeah, totally.
It's up to you. It's really down to personal choice.
Yeah.
But
just like get those 9, 12 pictures in straight away, so it just gets pushed down.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
then like it's forgotten about.
Yeah.
Don't see it. Don't think about it.
Cool. So next up, we have hashtags. Now, this is a question that I get asked a lot, and that is, what hashtags do I use? So hashtags are still very, very big on Instagram. A lot of people say, well, how many should I use? How many is the like, right number? So anything really from 11 plus. 11's meant to be the sweet number, but try anything between 20 and 30. I think like the more the merrier, why not? So you're getting grouped for those hashtags. And the thing that people tend to use, and this is something I see a lot in network marketing, is they hashtag their network marketing company, they hashtag like life of design, they hashtag like dream to win, or you know, whatever it is. And the thing is, you've got to think about how many people are using those hashtags. If you're using the most popular hashtags, you are not going to get seen, okay? You're going to get lost in the ocean of hashtags.
And even though it's a hashtag, I think sometimes like we get told, if we look at attraction marketing, or you know, we're not looking to put our company info on our profiles, and then people do that, but then they go into the hashtags and it's like, oh, let's just throw all that good ideas away. Let's throw that good advice away. I'm just going to throw a load of company name details in there, and it just kills the curiosity, right? Because, oh, I know what company you're with. Oh, I know what you do. Okay, fine. Like, I will go and Google it, right? And we go to, you know, Uncle Google, and he tells us all the bad stories, or they go to somebody else in your company, or maybe they just, you know, find a product somewhere else. So keep it even out of the hashtags, and you're only sending them to other people who's in your organization anyway. So it's not smart.
Mix it up is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Mix it up, use the popular ones, use the less popular ones, and find ones in your niche. And you can do that through actually just searching in the search bar, and say put in makeup in there, and actually find the sub niches from that, and then create your own ladder. So I have about 25 different hashtag ladders that I've created, and right now Instagram is big on it being content relevant. So make it relevant. If you're just putting hashtag dog, but you've got nothing to do with dogs, then just think about that, okay?
Yeah, and hashtags are also an incredible way for you to find people, right?
Yeah,
you know, so much today we've been talking about, well, how do I actually find somebody to join my organization? How do I find somebody to buy the products? And we hear this a lot from like people who join our groups and, you know, want coaching advice. They say, well, how do I actually find somebody on Instagram? Like, because I type in, let's say, for example, it's a health and wellness products. I type in health and wellness, and it just sends me to loads of network marketers, right? That's not helping you unless you're trying to, you know, pitch over network marketers, which isn't the right thing to do at all. So this is how you need to start thinking about using hashtag strategy to find people. So we're big believers, and this has been spoken about before, about understanding your core brand values. And this is when you really know like who you are, what you stand for, what you stand against, and the sort of things that you're going to be putting out there as a personal brand. So let me give you an example, right? My number one personal brand is authenticity, right? And we've heard about authenticity a lot today, being truthful, which is awesome. Now, I could just put in that For example, if I'm trying to find somebody who's authentic, right, I could use that hashtag, search for authentic, and guess what that's going to bring up? Other people who also share the value of authenticity, right? This is awesome. Well, let's now start to think about this a little bit deeper. What other types of words are similar to authentic? Honest, truthful, hardworking, integrity, right? You got to think when people are using hashtags, they're not just using one word, they're using multiple words. And all of a sudden, you can go and search for the word authentic, which is going to be heavily used. Well, it might be hard to find people because there's so many. But if you start to find those maybe sub-niche words, which aren't so thoroughly searched, and again, that works for opportunity and it works for product, then you're going to be able to find a lot more people. And here's the cool thing with this. What you're going to be doing is, rather than fishing where the fishermen are, right, which is other people in network marketing, you're going to be going straight to where the fish are. And there's nobody there. There's nobody pitching those people. There's nobody direct messaging those people. There's nobody commenting, engaging on their social media, trying to give them an opportunity. It's just you and them. And that just gives you an unbelievable opportunity to be the first person to keep the attention with you. Guess what happens, right? You get engagement, have conversation. Well, then you create opportunity to sell your products or, allow someone the opportunity to join your organization, which is awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. So a couple of apps I was just going to recommend is VSCO. And this is a really good curator for your images. Also, I do everything on Canva and WordSwag. And I do like a bit of Facetune too as well.
WordSwag is an app. It's amazing.
Yes.
It's only like £1 or £2, is it?
Yeah, it's amazing. So if you're very new to hashtags and you really haven't got a clue where to start, check out Display Purposes as well. It's a web-based application, so it's not like an app on your phone. You need to actually type in Display Purposes. Okay, so now we're going to talk about captions. And this is like basically your basic copywriting skills, okay? Now, everybody says like having a good image will tell 1,000 words. Is that the right saying?
I don't know, I've got jet lag.
Okay.
My brain just doesn't work. Don't throw things like that at me this time.
Basically, but imagine if you had a really awesome image, and some things, if you're thinking, oh God, I don't know how to create a great image, take a look at free websites like Unsplashed, again, Canva. These are great sources to get free content, and you can just use them as you like. But what I always say is think of a really great, compelling headline, right? The thing is on Instagram, you're just ruffling up.
Sorry.
The thing is on Instagram, when you're putting stuff out there, it gets shortened down, right? So they only see those first few paragraphs. So you need to make them good, right?
Okay, so captions. I love this because we're going into my world now, which is copywriting. So we can't see the comments on the screen, but drop it in if you know what copywriting is. Some of you maybe do, some of you maybe don't. But let me give you an overview of what it is. Copywriting is basically through the written word. It's persuasive language, right? It's selling, it's sexing up, it's using persuasion to get people to do the thing that you want them to do, which ultimately should be to engage with you, because social media isn't a place for telling and selling. It's for engagement, which leads to the conversation. So we're going to be focusing on the engagement side of things. So I want to give you a very, 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 very simple copywriting structure. We probably go into like 17, 18 point copy formula structure. We don't have enough time for that. So I'm going to give you like 3 or 4 pointers. So the first thing with copywriting is you want to be just having the most amazing headline. So the headline, what is that? Well, it's just the first line that you write. What is the task of that first line? It is to make you read the second line. So a headline, you want to make sure that it gives an overview of what the whole point of the post is going to be about, how to without something, or how to something without something. My client lost 10 pounds in 3 days using this 3-step system. Something which is, just going to invite people to go, ooh, I wonder what that might be. So that's your headline. If you're going to start going into a little bit deeper, I'll miss it out here, then you'd have a sub-headline. So that's like a continuation of the story. But I'm just going to go straight into number 2 here. And I'm just going to use the word body. So this is like the main chunk of your text. That's where you want to be telling your story. That's maybe where you're having your bit of a rant. It might be where you're revealing your truth. It might be where you are discussing some client reviews. It might be where there's some product testimonials, something like that. That's the main key part of your body. Throughout your text, you want to be making sure that you're using what's called a direct copy style. So let me give you an example of that. When I'm actually talking through my text, I might just put a little, what's called a trial close in there. So I might just say, for example, does that make sense? Do you get that? And you want to make sure that even though you're talking to an audience, you ought to be talking to just one person. So I'm not saying to you and writing in my copy, I'm not saying to you things like, what do you all think? I'm saying, I think you will get great results. So it's as if I'm literally talking to you on the other side of that screen when you're looking at the phone as well. So just something to bear in mind and consider. And the final thing, this pen's going a little bit. I've written CTA there, that stands for call to action. Well, the whole point is that you need to give people very simple instruction so they do the thing that you want them to do. If I've just written this amazing post, but at the end, nothing, well, guess what happens? Nothing. But instead, if I just say, give me a love heart, comment if you agree, tell me amen. This isn't just Instagram, right? This could be Facebook, Snapchat, LinkedIn, whatever. It might be that if you've got a product that you're selling or you've got an event, hey, go to this link in the comments to join my Facebook group. If you would like to know more information, drop me an inbox, that sort of stuff. So make sure that there's always the CTA, the call to action.
Absolutely. And that kind of leads on to the stories feature as well. So you really, if you're not using this, get on with it, use it. People love seeing real raw time footage.
Yeah.
So make sure that you're showing the behind the scenes. And the thing is with the stories, if you're not using them, you're missing out on a whole massive audience. And if you're not using your hashtags, guess what? Only your followers are seeing your stuff.
Yeah.
And only a limited amount of followers are seeing your stuff as well.
Whole point of social media is to have huge reach so more people can see you. We go back to the earlier training that I did. Social media is all about scale and leverage. Well, use the tools that will give you the scale and leverage. Otherwise, you might as well just go and walk down the street because you're not achieving anything more. You're just one person, one person, one person. No, we want to be thinking about 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 people into our world. That's how we become influencers. That's how we get, a big following. And that's how we make huge commission checks.
Exactly. And when you reach 10,000 followers, which is absolutely possible,
Yeah.
you actually have a swipe up feature, which is amazing because then you can link them to all different types of websites or blogs or whatever. If you aren't at that stage right now, then check out Linktree. Linktree is amazing.
Yeah.
So Linktree is great. Basically, it's a shortened URL and it leads you through so you can put all of your platforms on there. So Facebook, Instagram, like your blog, your website, like whatever it is, you can actually put it on there.
And just add in there actually, because something that people tend to do, which is a mistake, they'll do one or two things. They will put their company website on there and it'll be a link straight to their company website to buy their products or whatever. Now, I'm going to say that's a bad thing for you to do. Again, I reiterate the point. Social media isn't for you to sell directly, okay? Like you're not Kim Kardashian, you don't have millions of followers. So what you need to create is an opportunity for you to have a conversation. So if they're going straight to the website, look, it doesn't happen. Like you might get that one random unicorn every now and then. You might hit a lucky strike, but we don't want to build our business based on luck. We want to build it based on, more quantifiable results. So rather than sending them to the website, because you can't target that, you can't focus on that, you can't learn what's happening, right? We can't do anything with that. The other thing that people do wrong is they often send it to a Facebook group as well, right? Facebook groups are huge right now. And it makes sense. You'd think, well, let's send them to the Facebook group. Here's the problem. Well, what Instagram does is it takes you out of the Instagram app, it takes you outside of the Facebook app, and it drops you back through the Safari. So you actually have to go via Safari to join Facebook. And if you've ever done that before where you have to re-log back in, well, guess what, right? You've all of a sudden you put some friction in your business and people go, I don't even know what my login details are for Facebook. I literally have no idea. It's been the same for 7 years. I have no idea what my password is. So if I get logged out, I'm screwed. But most people don't. And anything like that, there's a little bit of hard work for people. Guess what? They don't do it because ping, another notifications come in. Oh, what's that? A cat's doing something funny, hilarious, lol, right? They've gone. They're looking at something else. So you want to make sure that it makes it easy. Linktree, amazing. We love Linktree for that. Rachel Jackson, she spoke earlier about ManyChat and using messenger bots.
Awesome.
Oh my God.
If you can give them a free ebook.
Give somebody something to download. It takes them through to the messenger bot. You've got them on a messenger bot. You can get them to join your email list. You can get them into your Facebook group. Amazing. So much better than just relying on a link to your website.
Yeah. And the last thing that I'm going to actually round it up with is scheduling and automation. So if you don't use a scheduling tool, then please get your pen and papers ready because you need to jot these down. Okay, so if you're predominantly using your phone, I would recommend an app called Plan. to...
It's double N, yeah?
Yep. Plan to schedule your posts. And if you're using a desktop and a phone, check out Plannerly.
Is that double N?
No, just single.
And one L, two L's?
One L.
One L. And one Y.
That's right, yeah. And also there's a slightly more expensive scheduling automation, but it's fantastic, and that's called Schedugram. And then you can actually basically schedule everything from your desktop. But the really cool thing about it is you can actually see how your feed looks in advance. And the one thing that I say to people is don't post on the fly. It's okay if you're like at a conference or somewhere really exciting and you want to showcase what's going on, but think about utilizing that in your stories feature.
Yeah, totally.
And keeping your grid like a glossy magazine spread, okay?
Yeah.
So what you want to be thinking about is creating that content in advance. So I always like to say, take a Sunday, or we're parents of 3, so we don't have loads of time, but think about when you do have time and basically take that time to actually write your captions. Have a look at other leaders, people that inspire you, see what they're saying, see what they're getting the most reaction from. There's actually something called Inc. Is it 3160? Or 361, Inc. 361.
Something like that.
And you can actually...
Google it, it'll be on there.
Yeah, you can actually check out your competitors. You can check out massive influencers, and you can actually have a look what hashtags they're using, and also have a look at what, what's most successful, how they're actually doing.
Yeah.
And it's just really good to gain insight. I wouldn't say copy them, but definitely, use it as a source of resource and kind of get some inspiration that way.
And just before we wrap up, guys, like if there are any questions that you guys have on Instagram, because we've totally flown through this, and we know that it's a lot of information.
Yeah.
But please do feel free to drop some questions in, and if we have the time, we'll feedback those. But the one thing I think I just want to leave you with when you're trying to kind of think about all of this, because social media is complicated. It's not overly simple. And the reason why it's not overly simple is because there are so many tactics. There have been some incredible speakers today, and all of the things that have been spoken about are amazing. But the challenge that it can be sometimes as a network marketer is that, well, I've got this great bit of advice here and a bit here and a bit here and a bit over here. And it's trying to pull all of that together. So I just want to give you a very, very simple process. You can bring all that together, and then you can start to create your own system, which is going to work on your strengths, it's going to hide those weaknesses, and it's just going to allow you to fly to the top so much quicker. Just remember with social media, here's the key. Number 1, you want to get engagement. Number 2, it's then going to lead to you having more conversations. Number 3, personal preference of ours is to then seek permission before you introduce the product or the business. I think it just avoids that spamminess. Number 4, you need to connect emotionally with your clients. Number 5, logically, and then you do the close at the very end. Anything else you want to add?
No, I think you rounded it all up. Thank you so much for taking the time to listen to us. I hope you got some great value there. And like we said, if you've got any questions, then just let us know.
Cool. Back to the hostess with the mostess.
Hostess?
Host. I got it
Host
wrong.
with the most, man.
We got it wrong. I try my best.
Excellent content. Listen, here's what we're going to do. We're going to bring every single person back, and they're going to give you, each of them is going to give you 2 minutes of do's and don'ts for social media network marketing. That's how we're going to finish it. Now I got some closing comments for you at the very end that I think will be helpful for you. So we're going to take a 3-minute break, and then we're going to start that, okay? 3 minutes. We'll be right back.